So we've got an influx of new Battletech players to the channel here, new Battletech players to the community. And one of the questions that I wanted to respond to, really push it up here to the archives, because it's been across a couple of videos. Fritz, what is a lance? I'm coming in from another wargaming system. Do I put down one mech? How many mechs do I need to play? How do we go about constructing a game? And that's what we're going to explore in this vlog. And with Battletech, it is very, very dynamic. What I mean by that is there are no preset definitions, say where other wargaming systems tell you a tactical squad is 5 or 10 dudes. Well, Battletech, you could put down 1 mech, 5 mech, 10 mechs, but there are a couple of in-game checks and balances. And of course, there is the lore that a lot of Battletech players try to emulate. But when I say try, it's not necessary. So in the lore, in the narrative, there's this idea of a lance. A lance consists of 4 mechs. Now, what makes up those 4 mechs? Light, medium, heavy, and assault. These are weight classifications of mechs. It depends on the designation. An assault lance is going to be 4 assault mechs. We might have a recon lance that could be 4 light mechs, or 3 light mechs with a heavy mech in support, maybe like a rifleman. So the idea is your 3 light mechs are going to scout about, and that heavy mech rifleman with long range is going to be able to offer some fire support. We also see the generalized idea of a lance often consisting of a light, a medium, another medium, and a heavy, although there's variations in this all across the inner sphere. But a lot of us try to build around the idea of a lance, which consists of 4 mechs. Now, if we advance the timeline, that's inner sphere, that's Star League, that's early Battletech. If we advance the timeline and we involve the clans, clans build around a star, which is the idea of 5 mechs. But again, these are just suggestions. These are just rules pulling in the narrative. In terms of balance, every mech in the Battletech universe has a battle value. These are points that are calculated, and many of us that play Battletech ahead of time, we agree to the battle value size. So let's say 10K, 10,000 battle value. That's a big game. That is a big game. We can purchase our units ahead of time, 10K. So maybe I go in all assault. Maybe I have a balanced list. Maybe I try and take lights and mediums. The idea is we can select from a variety of mechs, come up with 2 completely different forces, and now put that down on the table. But again, usually trying to stick to a lance of 4 mechs. If you're under or over battle value, I might have 4 mechs and 3 mechs. But even with that, within the rules, these mechs can operate all independently. If you build a lance, you select 4 mechs. It's not like they have to stay within 5 hexes of each other. You can mix and match. You can have one break off. Tactically, that might not be the best thing to do, to isolate a mech, but you're free to move and play however you want. Now, this also extends once we start adding vehicles in. And one of the things that we explored in Battletech was in this sci-fi space opera, yes, the mechs are the Knights of the Realm. Yes, the mechs are absolutely key. But there are also military forces. The bulk of the military forces would not be that unfamiliar based on what we would see in the here and now of today, although upgraded a little bit with lasers and PPCs and other types of fusion engines and armor. You can also build a group of tanks. You can build groups of infantry, and these can fight alongside the mechs. These can fight alongside your lances. But generally speaking, we use the term lance, and you hear this idea of lance. Now, there are other ways. This is the interesting thing about Battletech. It's really an open sandbox type world. Battle value is the common currency, so to speak, that players use to construct their forces. But equally so, there's called C-bills. That's literally the amount of money, in-game money, that would be required to purchase a mech. Often, if we play in a campaign or we're going to kind of bring in a role-playing aspect, you'll earn C-bills, and that will allow you to purchase mechs and purchase upgrades. You could play that way. An earlier way to play was also just tonnage. Look, let's play 200 tons, although it is a little bit back and forth depending on the mechs. And at other times, you could just pick mechs and see what happens. I've played games where we've agreed ahead of time, okay, take a heavy, a light, a medium, and an assault. Now, if I take a light heavy and you take a heavy mech, yeah, you'll have an advantage, but there are many, many ways to navigate the game. And this is what's amazing about Battletech, because as you build your collection, you can really play it however you want. You can really implement things however you want within that narrative. So you could have a lance and then maybe have 2 other mechs that just got assigned or are part of an HQ or are part of another type of group that maybe 2 other mechs got destroyed and they're joining the battle right now. As a mech commander, technically speaking, you're free to field however you want. But the common currency is this idea of battle value. You'll see it in the tech sheets, BV, and it'll be like, a light mech BV 320. That's the battle value points. Obviously, the greater the battle value, the greater the game. I think most Battletech games, 3, 4, 5K battle value. That gives you a lance or 2 or a lance and some vehicles. Gives you some nice toys on the table. But again, nothing is preventing you at all from playing 2 mechs. Nothing would be preventing you from coming up with custom scenarios. Battletech encourages it. Maybe I take a medium mech and my opponent takes 4 light mechs and I have to try and exit the table while those light mechs swarm me and try to stop me. Maybe I have some sort of asset or some information that I'm trying to get back to my HQ, and the rest of my lance was destroyed, and you've sent out all these recon mechs to find me. Really, you can use your imagination where it's not tied down to it's this, it's this, it's this. But in researching the narrative, the Battletech military structure is around a lance of 4 mechs, and of course, as we move into the clans, a star of 5 mechs.